Hi, hello, welcome. I'm Moon, the fairy raccoon, and welcome to this week's collective tarot reading. Today, we are doing messages from your higher self. So this is messages from your higher self, your soul, you from a higher perspective. This was voted for by my community in my Discord server. I post the link to my Discord server during my tarot streams on Twitch. So if you want to catch one of my live streams to join my server, you are welcome to do so. But yeah, okay, I'm excited to get into this. A quick little overview of the cards before we get into it. I pulled for your current energy or messages about your current energy from your higher self. And then these are representing just the general message that your higher self wants to get across to you. And then I pulled some advice cards right here. Okay, so I wonder if things must be really busy for you right now. You might be working really hard. You might be taking a lot of action, doing a lot of tasks, doing things for your job, doing things for others, being a support for others, just dealing with general life issues, responsibilities. And I'm getting a lot of that from this Knight of Wands energy. I kind of see this Knight of Wands as someone who's not afraid to jump in, get their hands dirty. For you, though, I think it's more you're doing a lot, you're dealing with a lot, and I just feel like it's constantly go, go, go for you. And that like resting and taking time off doesn't even really, probably isn't on your mind. Or maybe it doesn't really seem like an option to you right now. Like I just feel like there's like just this constant movement. For a lot of you, it's probably related to your job. I think a lot of it is you're just working hard to just survive, to live. I would say more so survival right now. Yeah, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. And I think your higher self wants you to know that you are good enough. You are doing enough, even if it doesn't feel like that. Maybe some of you wish you had the energy. I just heard mental energy, the mental capacity, just the general energy to achieve more things or do more things. I don't know if you felt guilty maybe for taking time for yourself or just focusing so much on work or your responsibilities. Maybe you haven't had time to connect with friends or connect with family or even just take time off. I feel like there's been a lot of hurdles for you and you just keep jumping over these like obstacles and you just keep moving through. You just keep moving. And I feel like you're almost maybe purposely keeping yourself busy because that's almost what's helping you stay afloat, even though you're tired and you're working really hard. I feel like maybe you feel like if you stop, I don't know, maybe you feel like if you stop, you might break down. You might, like, I just feel like you're just in this mindset or energy that you just need to keep going and just keep walking forward. But I almost feel like, do you have a plan? Do you, I'm kind of getting the imagery now of like focusing on this like horse or even like a car of like, this horse needs to stop and eat. It needs to rest. It can't just constantly keep walking forward for this person. Maybe some of you are working really hard for people, for like supporting other people in your life. But you're not a machine. You're this horse. You're not a car. You know, even cars need to be stopped and they need to refill their gas. And maybe you're just trying to like, maybe you're kind of running on empty and you just keep pressing the pedal to go, but it's only slowing you down and it's hurting you. It's not benefiting you. But I think you're just not even considering other options, including rest or including just your own personal needs. I feel like you're not really seeing that as an option for whatever reason. Also take whatever resonates, leave what doesn't, as always. For some of you, maybe you used to be able to do more or, you know, at a different point in life, like, because I keep seeing this Knight of Wands, like, look at their expression, like, they seem content and they're moving forward and, like, they're making a lot of progress and like I said, like getting their hands dirty, doing all these tasks and things, but like I feel like this Knight of Wands like has fulfillment from that, but like maybe there was a version of yourself that you used to be where you used to be more efficient, or you used to be able to handle these things better. Or maybe that's the vision of who you want to be, but you're not matching up to that idea. You're not matching up to that idea of yourself, and that might be really affecting you. You might be being really hard on yourself. So I think a big thing your higher self wants you to know here is you are not a machine. It's okay to rest. I know it's hard, especially if you're doing a lot of this for your survival, but you can't continue doing these things for your survival. You can't keep continuing to do your job efficiently if you're not taking care of yourself. Even the most basic of needs, you know, like sleeping. Even your like mental energy. I'm getting a lot of that. Like you might be just so focused on doing things that like, I think there's a lot of people that don't always realize you need mental rest. You need time for your mind to rest as well. Because even maybe there's times where you're physically sitting or laying down, but your mind is just going and you're thinking about all the tasks and all the things you have to do, or you're consuming media really fast, like scrolling on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, and just like your brain and mind need time to rest too. You need to slow down, take a deep breath. But I feel like it's kind of like you're in this like consistent panic or this push to just move forward, but without any direction, without any time for rest, and you're just kind of almost recklessly just moving forward. But at a certain point, like, that's not very productive. Sometimes in life, we do just have to put one foot in front of the other. But you, I almost feel like, are trying to push yourself to just run as this horse, running on nothing. And that's not good for you. Okay, now moving to this Page of Pentacles. I think it's so interesting how when I first saw this card, I thought this was a baby lamb. It could be a baby lamb, but it could be like a cow, but I'm going to take it as a lamb because there's literally like the lamb card, and I thought it was funny how like I pulled this card and then this card came out as well. So we're going to say this is a little baby lamb. Okay, so as I was kind of saying, I feel like you're working so hard. The part of the reason you're pushing yourself so much is because you're really trying to build the life that you want for yourself, but maybe you haven't made much progress. Maybe you want to move out on your own. Maybe you want to buy your own home, or just live on your own, or have a partner. Like, just build this certain life. Like, I feel like there's this idea of this life that you want, and like that's the goal. But like I said, you're just more so running instead of running towards what you actually want. So it kind of feels like you're still in the beginning stages of planning and figuring out how to even achieve the life that you want. And maybe some of you don't even know if that's an option, and like maybe you're feeling a bit hopeless about that. Because, you know, the pentacles are all about like the physical world, the material world, our environment. It's about money, finances, and stuff as well. But okay, yeah, we're gonna go kind of look at the lamb card now more so too. But maybe you have this pressure that you feel that, you know, you're an adult and maybe you see other people who already have their own homes, have a partner, have a family even, or are just, you know, maybe more independent. Maybe some of you wish you were more independent, but right now you're dependent on other people. Whether that's roommates or your family. Yeah, there's just kind of this vibe of like, you have this idea of who you should be. And I think that applies with this lamb energy. Because right now, I think, you know, this lamb energy is someone who is very gentle, kind, sensitive. So that could be how that could be you on the inside. I feel like you have a lot of needs that you're not addressing, like internally or just energetically. You're kind of like this lamb, like this baby lamb even. But I kind of see a lot of you don't maybe want to admit that to yourself. Or you feel like you can't be the way that you are. You can't be this this like baby lamb, this just like soft, gentle, sensitive person. Like maybe you feel like you have to put on just like this armor or this strong front because that's the world we live in, and you have to be this strong person doing all the responsibilities and the jobs and just the tasks and the things, and there's no time for you to cry or feel your emotions or just be this baby lamb and feel like a baby. But that, I think, is something your higher self wants you to know, is that it's okay to be yourself and to address the things you need to address. It doesn't make you weak to feel like this lamb, because I think that's a part of yourself. And especially right now, like that's a part of who you are, and I think you're really neglecting that, especially because you have this idea of who you think you should be or who society is telling you should be. Maybe I just heard maybe you have like in-laws, family, I don't know, people you live with that could be telling you to just, you know, suck it up and just deal with it. And like maybe, I don't know, I feel like some of you feel bad for crying or feel like you shouldn't cry. Maybe some of you do cry all the time, but you try not to do that in front of others. And then for some of you, you might hold it in and just try your best not to cry. So please, if you need to cry, let yourself cry. It's okay. You're just putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect or to be this well-rounded person. But I don't think these standards that you're hearing from others and even from your own mind, I don't think are realistic, especially for yourself right now. You need to give yourself some grace and time to just rest and relax and know that it's okay to feel your emotions and be this sensitive person. Maybe some of you, this is a message. This is specific, so might not be for all of you. But I know the lamp card. I sometimes I can't remember if it's in the guidebook, but this does make me think of like spirituality, being psychic, connecting with your intuition. Maybe some of you suppress a lot of that. Maybe some of you intuitively know that you are built or meant or hope that you can live a different life than what you're living right now. But as I said, I feel like you just are so... Sorry, I got distracted by how that card's lifting up. Oh no, what was I saying? Okay, well, I think that's a message in itself that I just got distracted. Take time to relax and like stop focusing so much on like the hopelessness you're feeling or like these standards you're setting for yourself or that others have set for you. You need to live your life rather than just survive. You know, you deserve that. You also deserve to live the life that you want. The dreams that you have are not unrealistic, you know. There's so many possibilities out there for you, and you can absolutely build the life that you're desiring. But you can't do that if you keep pushing yourself like this and keep, especially pushing yourself towards a route and just have such an unrealistic idea of who you're supposed to be. I think you'll find more success in the life you want to build when you start being more authentic to yourself. I think more opportunities will show up for you when you start to be honest about who you are. I think that's going to be really hard for you though, for a lot of you. Because I feel like you're just living in this. So it'll take time, but it's absolutely possible. And yeah, with the Five of Pentacles here, this is a card about suffering, needing to seek shelter, needing to accept help. But the thing is, like, it's making you think of the Rider's Waite tarot imagery, where it's like these people who have been through a lot. I think one of them's on crutches or something. And there's like a church right there. And they're in a winter storm. The church is right there. Like literally they're outside the window. But they're choosing not to go in the building, even though it's right there. And I think you need to accept that you need help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for a break. Maybe ask for a day off of work if you can. Maybe, I don't know if, maybe you're someone who, for example, for your job, maybe some of your coworkers are constantly asking, hey, can you take my shift today when it was supposed to be your day off? It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to those things. Especially, I think a lot of you are so kind and generous with your energy, but it's okay to say no if people are constantly pressuring you or asking you. Like, that's the thing, is they're asking you, which means it's a yes or no question. They're asking you, hey, can you take my shift? It doesn't make you a bad person for saying no sometimes. At the end of the day, you need to prioritize yourself, and they are just going to have to figure it out. They are going to have to figure it out. You do not have to carry all these burdens and be always so generous of your energy and time for others. Because I just think you're naturally like that already, and you don't always owe everyone everything. You don't. It's okay to say no. It's okay to take those days off. Like, I feel like there's these opportunities for you. There's opportunities for you to rest and take time and do the things you would need to, like, you know, to stop and take a break and eat an apple, like this horse, you know. But you're not taking those opportunities, or you're not allowing yourself that grace and time. So I think that's something your higher self wants you to know is, you know, they're giving you permission. Give yourself permission to go inside that church and seek help, to ask for help. Even if it's not job related, maybe it's spending time with friends or asking someone, you know, to listen to you. Maybe you need to vent. Whatever it may be. For some of you, it could be literally going to a church. I don't know, connecting with your spirituality. Maybe you haven't had made much time for that recently. But yeah, your higher self wants you to know you're doing amazing, but let yourself rest. Take the hand that's reaching out to you, those opportunities that are reaching out to you. Be yourself. You don't always have to be this hardworking machine. That's not realistic, and that's not going to get you where you want to be. Now, finally, for your advice cards, we have the Knight of Cups and the Six of Cups. I love how this one's purple. I love purple. If you can't tell. Your advice here is to move away from physically doing so much and move your focus more on your emotional body rather than just, the physical, everything we were just yapping about, right? Your advice is to focus more and prioritize your emotions, your own feelings. Prioritize your feelings over everyone else's. That might be really hard to do for a lot of you. Maybe you are constantly considerate of others. And obviously it's good to be considerate of other people's feelings and how we affect them. But you're putting people too much ahead of yourself. You need to prioritize yourself. You need to come back to prioritizing your emotional body, your emotional needs. Let yourself cry, as I said earlier. Let yourself feel. Like, maybe part of you is just distracting yourself with like doing stuff, or like I said earlier, maybe you're just constantly scrolling on TikTok or other platforms and you're not giving yourself time to feel and address the things that have happened to you. I just heard you're not really addressing your emotions, you're running away from them. So your advice from your higher self, your little assignment, feel. Give yourself permission to cry, to be angry, to be upset, feel your emotions. Take time for that. Take some deep breaths. Be with yourself. I think so many people don't make the time for this. And it's so important. And I promise you, you're going to feel so much better once you do. But these things are only going to fester inside of you the longer you wait and push back on doing it. The Six of Cups is a card about nostalgia, kindness, friendship. There's a lot of sweetness with this card. Reach out to your friends. Stay connected with other people. Stay connected to your community. Maybe go and do some community events if you can, or online even. Spend time with your friends, because I think that's really important, and it'll help you get through everything you're dealing with right now. Your friends, those connections, that support is really what's going to help you get through this. And I think your friends can offer you a perspective about yourself that you aren't seeing or aren't able to fully grasp. I think that's why other connections with people are so beautiful, because they can reflect and show us parts of ourselves that we weren't maybe fully aware of. Sometimes that shows us difficult things, but I think this is more so a focus on the beautiful things about you, the wonderful things about you. Your friends and family and people who love you and truly care for you, love you just the way that you are. They love you for you. They don't want you to be someone else. It's okay to be yourself and be this sensitive lamb, you know? Be yourself. Be with people who make you feel like you can be yourself. I think that's another little bit of advice for you. If you're not sure who to surround yourself with the people who you feel safe to be yourself around. Okay, I think to close off this reading, I'll read this lamb page for you, in case you want to pause it. All right, the key words are peaceful, prophetic, patient. The lamb is the bearer of an important message. Its contents can only be heard when a deep level of quiet has been established. Lamb energy is the honest guidance you hear from an old friend, a young child, or sometimes a surprising stranger. That reminds me a lot of this card. Though the lamb's message may channel through another person, the wisdom resonates within you. It will repeat and reverberate until you listen. Approach this gentle creature with utmost patience and reverence. Truth is a gift. Sit still, listen, receive. When in balance, knowingness, inner peace. When out of balance, quiet, timid, concerned. To bring into balance, meditation, listening. Wow, okay, I think that really touched upon kind of what I was already saying. Yeah, like other people reflecting things to you, sending messages. I feel like that's why it's important to spend time with others. As I was just saying, like, I feel like they'll have messages for you that you didn't even know you needed to hear. So just go hang out with some friends, go hang out with your community, connect with others. But obviously, like I said, still prioritize yourself and your own space and energy and time. But yeah, take time to sit still, listen, receive. I like that part. Well, I think that's where I'm going to close off your reading. Thank you so much for listening and watching. It would mean a lot to me if you could engage with this video, like, comment, tell me your thoughts. As a reminder, I do have private tarot readings available on my Ko-fi. The link is in the description. I also have art commissions available on my Ko-fi as well. And I do weekly free tarot live streams both on Twitch and on YouTube. I give out free readings. I also have an option to donate for a more detailed reading to guarantee yourself a spot. Those are always a lot of fun. I do readings from people in chat. Also, if you're a consistent viewer of mine, today I accidentally left off the, reverb I use on my voice. Let me know if you guys have a preference. Do you like when I sound like this in my videos, or do you like the reverb? Because I think the reverb picks up my voice better, but I also can understand how it might sound a little odd to listen to a reverb voice constantly. I don't know if you guys like this one better. Would you like me to use this one better? I just think the filters on this one I need to mess with again. I just think it like sounds lower quality without the reverb. I think, which is why I mostly leave the reverb on. So I don't know. Let me know. But yes, thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves. I love you all. Goodbye.